Minutes from January 2nd. Any questions about the minutes?
Make a motion, we approve the land bank minutes for January 2nd, 2019.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any further discussion? All in favor of the motion, respond by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Next item is consider a request to replat lots in the Olivia Farm subdivision. Chair Bernardo.
Update from your packet.
Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, that's a big update.
Yeah.
What does it quite look like?
So we took a hard look at Olivia Farms. We had discussion about the lots, especially on the east side of Samantha Way that we had previously put power in. And what it boiled down to was the only lots we felt needed replotting or had the potential to replot were the larger lots that we had had offers on before. So I believe there were 11, 12, 14, and 15. Call Valley took a look at it, broke those larger lots down into 36 individual lots, several of which of these already have power to them. And then the cost I put in the packet was about $30,000 because that was the initial estimate. However, it came in about 2/3 of that. So when it is time for us to proceed with a replat, we recommend this structure at a proposed roughly $20,000. To be clear, I'm not asking you to approve the expenditure tonight. I'm asking for approval of the structure as laid out. And I can answer any questions that you have on this portion.
So the agenda that came to us for the land bank, you had to replat 20, but now we're looking at 36 lots?
Yeah, so it's the same same four lots that I'd originally proposed, excuse me. But after Call Valley looked at it, they were able to fit 36 into what I had estimated as 20.
And then it went down from less than 30,000 to less than 20 now?
Yeah, to about 20,000.
I think you have to remember that we always talk about, and Leon might want to add some here too, that we have 1,100 lots. We have 1,100 legal descriptions. We do not have 1,100 buildable lots. And we have a lot of lots out there that were brought into the city, that were developed, that unless you spend lots and lots of money, you'll never be able to build on. Because of slope and grade and everything else. Just an issue we have. I mean, it is what it is. This plan that the rest just worked on and put together with, I think these lots are all usable. Mm-hmm. And maybe you could spur some growth in that area.
Did you say that these 36 lots would have power to them already?
No, the ones just south of Wilma Way and east of Fort right now have power. The other three do not.
Got it?
Yep.
Front three sections do not.
Mm-hmm.
What would the cost be to extend power to those?
So we got quotes on the other two, which is in the next proposal. I didn't look at powering this particular section. So I wanted to get the commission's approval to
Yeah.
focus on this area.
Yeah, that's fine. There's plenty to choose from anyway, so.
Do you know, are we getting a lot of interest in the Olivia Farms area?
No.
We're not.
It's fairly limited in this section. There's Lance could tell you better than I can, but we've seen more interest in other land bank lots that I'll talk to you about in a moment. But
Oh, I'm just thinking out loud. If we're not getting a lot of interest, then why would we focus money to?
So people don't try to buy the big tracts.
Yeah.
We're just going to go ahead and just carve these up. We're not going to pay for the plat yet until we're ready to
Okay,
turn them loose.
and
I got that and I understand that.
Right. That's all. We're just kind of proving this is where we're going to chop them up when we chop them up. So.
And we kind of see this as maybe a phase 2 of a land bank plan, phase 2 or 3 down the road as we develop some of these other areas.
It takes about, what, 3 months to replat?
No rezoning, so 60 days.
60 days, okay.
Planning schedule.
Yeah, it has to go planning commission, yeah.
Any further questions?
Do we need a motion to accept this plot proposal?
That's been updated.
I think
I
we're
don't
all
believe
in
so.
agreement.
Yeah, I think it's agreement is that
We're not gonna.
we're not gonna sell any big
replat
lot, we're
anyway.
not selling no big lots, and we'll replat when we get to that point in time. And I think we have a consensus that you're in agreement with the 36 lot proposal.
Yep.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay, next item is consider the request to install electrical lines for land bank lots in Mann's Ranch 2 and the Levy Farm subdivision.
Okay, so in this, essentially, we've looked at the land bank as a 1,000-lot problem, and we've had pretty limited success. So what these two proposals do is kind of break this down to a much more manageable section. For the Mans 2, the land bank becomes a 15-lot problem. If we were to move over to the Olivia Farms, it would become a 50-lot problem. The idea is that we provide direction and focus on these particular areas in order to gain momentum as we look for further sustainable growth. The Mans Ranch has had much more traffic and inquiries than anything we have out in Olivia Farms. And understand this is just information, I'm not trying to persuade you. The Mans Ranch comes in at about right at $90,000, which leaves us a good bit of financial flexibility within the land bank. There's an update I got Friday to the Olivia Farms proposal. It went from $95,000 to $135,000 to light the same shaded portion that I presented to you before. There's the potential of a slight flex in Mans Ranch. If you look at the document I gave you, we believe that the boring was already done under the road. If not, then excavation costs will increase about $2,500 to $3,000 as we have to pay to do that boring as well. This particular schematic branches off into the other portion of Mans 2, setting us up for the potential to add power down here at a later time. The advantage of Olivia Farms is it gives us much more bang for our buck, so to speak. It does create tremendous financial constraint within the land bank account. If we, I mean, we're going to be down to right around $30,000 left in the account if we proceed with this. I believe that's all the information I want to provide you. I'm prepared to answer whatever questions that you might have.
How much money is in our land bank account right now? Do you know?
I want to say about 150 to 175.
About right.
Because, we got, and with a few lots of land to help us get sold, still the biggest portion has always been the easement piece that we got. The 80,000 for there. What's the option of just finding 40 lots in Mans Ranch and say, who wants them? You can have them for, bring us a plan, we'll decide who gets them, and you take care of all the utilities, you take the risk.
Well,
I don't know if that's doable or not. I mean, just a thought, thinking out loud a little bit, saying, here's some good lots that I think, and I think we all agree that Mans Ranch, there's some pretty good lots there, and just say, if you want to take the risk, here you go. And I don't know if there's any takers or not.
to date, and Lance can correct me if I'm wrong, but we haven't had any developers knocking down the door yet to want to take these off our hands. We have had some interest in the premium lots in this section. The developer option is definitely advantageous, and if it was imminent, we would definitely want to proceed with that. But for right now, I do believe it's prudent for us to focus our efforts and energies into one particular small chunk and take this piecemeal as we try to dig ourselves out of the land bank hole.
In the Olivia Farms edition, at one time, that around where the Nacarados wanted to live,
They bought those.
there was some discussion about
The
power going in there and a price of the 26,000.
Yeah, so that's complete.
That's
We
complete.
completed that. We completed the.
And how many lots now there in that area have power?
16,
16?
yeah, on Samantha Way.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's-
17.
So
One of those is the lift station that's.
Okay.
down
So
there. It's
people,
powered.
we at least got 16 lots there that are viable, that with the Nacarados already building there, that may interest other people. But Olivia Farms hasn't been, like say, is Man's Ranch seemed to be more
There's more interest.
appealing.
Yeah.
So is the idea maybe to
Focus on Man's
go
Ranch.
with the 95 towards over in Man's Ranch and see how that works out?
So then the question would be is, do you try to recoup any of that back, or
Yeah.
do you stay at 5,000 a lot, do you go 10,000 a lot, do you go 12,000? I mean, I don't know, I'm just, how do you skin that cat?
Still like, when we talked about, when the mayor was talking about, selling these lots, getting to 5,000, and when they got a building certificate, they got they got the money back, except then how do we pay land? Too, there's gotta be some money for managing that too. I don't know, I like that, I really do. The idea is to get people to buy these lots, if they get their money back, or at least most of it, maybe there'd be more, and I don't know, I know that's what you had talked about earlier, Mayor.
Well, and I kind of was going to keep that just for USD 475 employees. I don't think you open that up for everybody. Otherwise, anybody else that has a house is trying to sell it is really at a disadvantage, unless somebody already wants a pre-built house ready to go and all that. But that's my concern. I don't want to create an unfair housing market.
Right.
So, I mean, I don't have a problem with, throw another $2,500 on those lots. 3,000, whatever. 8,000 for a lot, still not bad. I mean,
Oh, no, it's not, it'd be a good bargain.
somebody really wants to build a house, 8,000 not bad.
And I believe it's important to note that the ones in Man's Ranch are they're premium compared to what we have in Olivia Farms, both in size, location, already established development. So we believe that we can effectively market them at about 8,000 per lot. We don't really want to go over that. Doesn't appear that we could raise the price in Olivia Farms if we went that route, because we didn't do it before with the 28,000 we spent earlier this year.
We already have some electrified lots.
We have
in
a
Olivia
lots
Farms.
available on Olivia Farms as
Yeah.
is, so.
And so this would-
I think I'd rather put my money in Man's Ranch and
I would agree.
do a different area.
I would too.
Yep.
The one other point of consideration, and I'm not sure if we should include this in this particular action item, but we do suggest that anything that's not powered, we take off the market until we have fulfilled whichever neighborhood we go toward. And that's just to alleviate wasted time on behalf of the realtor, confusion of what's available, what's not available. So that would be a secondary recommendation as well.
I wouldn't have a problem with that.
I wouldn't either, I like
I
that.
don't want to waste Mr. Coacher's time, so.
Maybe the other piece, and I didn't put it on the agenda, maybe we'll throw it in here, though. We had a request, it came in late Friday to get on the agenda, but we have people wanting to buy part of a lot. And we had that one a couple of years ago, or last year up at Brookbend. Brookbend, where it turns into Brookbend up there, where the guy wanted to buy 10 foot. Because the lot to the rest of the lot is not buildable. It's a drainage ditch. And the neighbor to the other side doesn't want to buy him, he wants just 10 foot, that's all he wants. Now we have somebody that wants like 30 foot or half a lot. Do we want to start getting into that? I don't know.
I don't think you'd do it unless there's a problem in that lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. We did sell that one lot last meeting, a couple meetings ago, that probably not real buildable, we got the regular 5,000 for. The one that was in Man's Ranch. Because the guy just wanted control. I mean,
Right.
And I get that. You always buy the land beside you.
Lance is our realtor. I mean, are you in the same thinking?
I think this particular lot presents a different issue than it was presented before. And if you look at it from an aerial point of view, the selling half of the lot, the west side of that half, allows the city to continue to have access to the dam, down to the pond down there.
Instead of woods.
And it allows the city to have access instead of having the whole lot.
Oh, right. Yeah, I remember that now. Yeah.
Non-use, so that's the purpose.
Well, that makes sense.
Well,
there.
that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay. But I didn't want to bring until we, talk about the partial lot thing because, again,
Yeah, I mean, city needs.
you sold that
access to
partial lot, how about this partial lot,
I mean, but only if there's a reason.
Yeah.
Right.
Lot's not buildable, city needs easement or access or whatever, then fine.
Heard for the next meeting then.
And Lance, on some of the other things we've talked about, taking the unelectrified lots off the market for right now, and kind of, I think our kind of consensus of focusing on Man's Ranch for a little bit and some of those lots, I mean, is that kind of your thinking as well, or your opinion as well?
It is, it allows us to focus on what we can sell. And it seems like sometimes what somebody can't have is as interesting, they're as interested or more interested in that than what they can. I think it's better, allows us to focus on what we can market, what we can sell, what can't.
So we need a motion to approve funding for,
Electrical extension for
Man's
Park
Ranch
Man's
too.
Ranch. And then I would probably at the same time, or in a separate motion, say, or somehow put a caveat in there, those lots will now be listed at
8,000.
8 or pick a number.
And it's Man's Ranch 2 is the
Yeah.
subdivision.
Man's Ranch too.
Make a motion, we spend the money to provide electricity to the lots in Man's Ranch 2, and when that's complete, those lots be sold at a price of $8,000 apiece.
Second.
it's been moved and seconded. Is there any further discussion? And this was for a total cost of
Mayor?
95,000.
Oh.
Sorry?
For clarification purposes, Man's Ranch 2, we're talking about just Lariat Lane
Yeah.
on Man's Ranch and not all of Man's Ranch 2.
Correct.
Correct, the ones illustrated.
Not to exceed a price. I thought it said 90,000.
95?
Yes, ma'am. So I believe, as listed, provided we don't have to do the additional boring, it comes in at like 90,500. So I would not anticipate it going above 93,000.
Go with not to exceed 95.
So not to exceed 95,000.
Any further discussion? So we have a second by Commissioner Albritton.
I'll second.
All in favor of the motion, respond by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Rusty.
Last item is discuss policies for land bank lots offered as part of an economic development agreement.
Okay. Of course, we offered up to 45 lots for CAMSO. Their human resource, John Lawrence, their human resource director and health safety manager, contacted Lance with a number of questions. I think the process, I still want to run them all through Lance, but, we'll, and the land bank would pay him for marketing those. But I think he does a good job and he keeps it out of the office, and that's what he does for a living, and we don't. He's better at it than we are. Verified employment, we'll ask for a letter of employment. One question I did have is, can we sell 2 lots? Can we give 2 lots to one person? They were suggesting maybe for a person that's higher rank, management. My first thought was this: no, 45 individual lots. The other lots right beside them for 5,000. That's where I would probably recommend. Because we got the plats, got all that taken care of.
And I think we stick to what I was saying. I think they just hand the lot. You pay 5,000 for the lot and you get your money back when you build a house.
Can we do that now after
Yeah, 'cause-
this?
Is that part of the
You can
development
put in
agreement?
place.
No, the development agreement was a free lot.
Yeah.
It was
Free lot.
45 lots.
Okay,
You know,
in the future.
the downside,
Yeah.
yeah, we learned on this one. I mean, we all did.
Right.
The downside that I can see, and I know some people have shared concern, is an employee will get a lot for nothing, and then they'll never build. And then they may market the lot in profit. You know, and I do worry about that, but sometimes, you know, how much time and money can you spend to worry about a couple thousand, you know,
We
a
got
little bit
so
here and
many
there?
lots. It's not even an issue.
Yeah, yeah. All I do know is that that incentive, and I think the mayor will agree with me, that incentive helped us seal the Camso deal because it added value to the offer that the city made
Yeah.
that we couldn't add
Put a
any
dollar
other
amount on
way.
each one of those lots, and that was that part of the package.
Yeah,
That's good.
Nobody else could do that, unfortunately.
and we're talking about the shout, you know, we had talk question about the shouse, and I think we're trying to get that answered yet. If you can build a shouse, which is a new word for a shop house,
Not a she shed.
not a she shed, no.
Okay.
We like she sheds. He shed, she shed.
My she shed.
You know,
covered?
anything else, I don't think there's anything, of course, there's no specials on these, so.
You have he shed.
Okay, good. Not
You
to
know,
ask her.
I think just the biggest question was are we gonna stick with one lot per employee?
I think so.
And if they want another one, they
They can
can.
buy, they can buy them one for $5,000. I mean, they're getting a heck of a deal.
Lance want to say something.
So will the lots that you just voted on be included as part of that package, or
I would say not. I would say the
But the ones for
$5,000 lots.
$5,000 lots?
Yep.
Yeah.
Not the lots we're putting any additional money into. All the other land bank lots, you know, were paid for by, you know, we didn't pay for them, we're paying for them eventually, but we didn't have to pay for the
Utilities.
utilities, so those are the ones we're gonna turn loose.
Paying Samantha Drive?
I think you have the investment there. I would say include them.
Yeah, I would think so as well.
Include those with the Millions Ranch or?
No. Those ones made a drive with electricity now that we put in there. Because that was everybody's mistake. I'm not gonna, you know,
We're gonna say those are all 5,000.
yeah.
Okay. All right,
We sold it to 5,000.
we're clear.
Because we're only offering them lots that have
Yeah, power.
everything.
Yeah, and they're dotted up and down that road, so.
The higher price.
Okay, so any other questions for Mr. Lawrence?
I think everything else is, you know, maybe that's something we have to tweak on another offer down the road, but again, we're not at a shortage of lots.
Nope. Okay, any other questions?
Make a motion to adjourn?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And we're out. Thank you and good night.